Hey humans, how's it going? Susan Ruth here. Thanks for listening to another episode of Hey Human Podcast. On this episode, I had the opportunity to talk with the very talented Ryan Rado. He is here in Nashville, and we sat down at my kitchen table and we talked about, he's an artist. We talked about his art, and he's a musician, and we talked about his music. But he also has Tourette Syndrome, and he has obsessive compulsive disorder. And we talked about that extensively, how it is for him moving through life with those things happening in his brain. And he's had Tourette since he was a young child. He was super open with me and talked about it at great lengths, which I really appreciate. And I think you're going to find it really interesting. There's something else I was going to tell you about it too. Oh yeah, during when we were talking, he would reach out and touch my face or my arm or some part of me, or he would sometimes say something really loud or whatnot, and it's all part of the Tourette's. It's all very interesting, and I tried to ask him as we went along, what made you do that, or what compels you to do this or that? And again, he's super open about everything, which I thought was really cool. The usual stuff. Oh, wait, before I go on with the usual stuff, I saw my friend Ellen today, and she said, hey, on last week's episode, you said a word, behemoth, or I don't remember now what she said I said, but I meant to say behemoth, and I guess I said behemoth, or I don't know. It came out all funky and weird. So she said that she teased me about that. So I'm bringing it up now. If you heard me say it weird, I didn't mean to. It's just that's what happens. Sometimes the brain does funny things. So it was interesting that she brought that up today, considering this episode is coming out in the morning, and it's all about the brain doing funny, weird things. Okay, usual stuff. HeyHumanPodcast.com for links and information, stuff that Ryan and I talk about. Ryan's website, RyanRado.com, all that kind of stuff. Stuff about Tourette's and OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. And if you're near a computer, go on iTunes and rate and review Hey Human. That'd be awesome. Subscribe, even more awesome. I'm on Podbean for your Google phone if you don't have an iPhone. Stitcher, Blueberry, BLUBRRY, and of course, HeyHumanPodcast.com. And you can email me, Susan at HeyHumanPodcast.com. And I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, Hey Human Podcast. I think that's all the things. All right. Hope you enjoy this episode. I know I really, really did. Ryan is an exceptional dude, and here we go. Ryan Rado.
Hi.
Welcome
Thank you.
to Hey Human Podcast.
That's a good title, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought that when it was happening. Yeah,
awesome.
That's good.
So we met for the first time today, but we met online through my friend Annie and your friend Annie. So thank you, Annie. Cool. She's probably listening at some point.
The best.
So welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for
and you made
me.
the journey because you live kind of far.
Summertown, which is, oh my gosh, man. It's about an hour and a half away.
Summertown, is it always nice?
I guess it depends on your perspective. I mean, there's there's a lot of meth happening out there.
Oh,
so that's pretty nice.
Yeah. All right, so you are a painter, a phenomenal painter. I went and looked at your stuff, and it's beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Likewise.
And then you had bands in the past in Nashville, and I guess you were like famous-y bands, right? I think it was before I got here. So it was more than 10 years ago, or?
I had one that was more than, oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Was that your first love, was music before art, or did you kind of...
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. It is kind of awkward to sit here, like, after we had this conversation, walking around the house, and then all of a sudden, like,
I know,
official, but you know what?
But,
it's part of the beauty of it.
What's great about it, though, is that on my podcast, you can absolutely be yourself. It's very conversational. Like, I don't have
Thank God.
I don't have any pre-written questions or anything like that.
Just talk.
Well, I just feel like it's more natural if it just flows the way it flows.
I love it.
Like if we met in a restaurant and sat next to each, like at the bar, and you were a stranger and I was a stranger, and you're like, "Hey, where are you from? What's your story?" You know, it's kind of like that.
Detroit area.
You're from Detroit.
Well, kind of.
Let's go backwards. All right, let's start at the very big.
Oh my gosh, Livonia, Michigan. Then I was born in Livonia, Michigan.
Okay.
In a hospital.
Yes.
To a woman named Patty.
Okay.
And a dude named Kirk.
Okay.
And they're interesting folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we lived in, where did we live? We lived in frickin' Brighton, Michigan.
Okay.
And then moved to Howell. And then we should talk about something different.
No, it's okay. All right. So you started your life in Michigan. And now, so one of the reasons why I was interested in talking to you is you have Tourette's and OCD.
I do.
And that's fascinating. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't know really anything about.
Right,
and in fact, there's a lot of jokes like, "Oh, I've got Tourette's." So
yeah.
I just
Fuck, shit, fuck. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think, and I don't know, so you'll have to tell me because obviously you know more.
Right.
That there are lots of different kinds of Tourette's, right? They manifest in different ways.
Oh yeah. Depending on like the trauma that you. Well, here's the deal. Okay, so I spent a long time like trying to get rid of Tourette syndrome because.
Oh, you know what? Hold on.
Airplane.
Huge airplane. Gonna shut this door.
Oh my gosh, that was quick.
Forget about that.
I'm sealed in now, y'all.
I know, hermetically sealed.
The blue microphone.
That normally the sun porch is my peaceful place, and it's always open. And
it is peaceful.
Yeah, but it gets loud being underneath the airplanes.
Oh, the friggin' zzz.
Yeah.
The
all right.
pad.
So sorry to interrupt. Okay.
That's okay.
So depending on the kind of trauma, it's,
and
that makes sense.
the trauma gets buried in your body, and then your muscles react, and your brain reacts with the trauma, and your psoas muscle gets tight, and your liver gets all torqued and toxic. So then the anger comes out, and you're just like, okay, well, I got these tics, I got these obsessions based on my reactions to some stuff when I was a kid that I preferably would not have wanted to deal with, but it made me who I am. Hello, I will touch that. Can you hear that, you guys? Okay, cool. So
that's like something. That's a compulsion.
Yeah, that was. Side note, I go see this psychologist named Dodge, and he has helped me. Every time I have a tic, he asks me what the tic is about. Sure. Where does the tic come from? Yeah. So he was able to trace the thoughts to where the tic starts, depending on the situation, the subject matter. That dude is brilliant. Like,
so it's almost
unbelievable.
like if you were to give each tic a name, like Fred shows up when I'm nervous, or Bill shows up when
there's
sad.
Opposition, or totally.
Or if I want to lie about something, there's Janet or
freaking Janet. You know what I mean?
But it's like that, and those all represent some part of your childhood.
Yep, or situation that I had a lot of like anxiety or adrenaline,
So take me back. You're born into Michigan to your parents, as people often are.
Yeah.
And so there was some trauma in the house that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My mom is pretty. She's one of a kind, and she's very emotional. She was married a lot of times. I have 4 stepdads. So it's a lot.
That gets expensive at
right. But I only talk to my dad now, which is so interesting.
Your birth dad.
My birth dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't spend a lot of time with him. And I was kind of See, this is like a vulnerable thing to talk about. But I love talking about vulnerable stuff.
You're safe with me.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. So I had 4 stepdads. And I'm talking to my real dad now because I was kind of programmed to think he was a piece of shit.
Sure.
And just because... fear in my mom's brain and her heart and, the whole thing. So, so different men were in and out, violence, manipulation.
Toward you or toward your mom? Or both?
All of us.
Oh, okay.
I've blocked it out. My mom and my sister would tell me about episodes where her second husband, thanks.
Yeah.
Just would let me have it, and I don't even, it's gone. I've tried to recall it, but I don't know if that's beneficial, Yeah. Like, I do remember, however, after the episode in particular happened, he opened and, knocked on the door, and the man has this is crazy to say. Thank you. for the heart that I have, Father. Okay, so the man is a good guy. He was a kid when they got married, okay? And he was beat up by his dad.
This your stepfather?
My first one, yeah. It's my sister's dad. And I know that he is a good guy. And I'm thankful for that and being able to see that in him because it's helped me see the good in people overall when otherwise I would probably just be afraid of them. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
I'm learning for the boundaries.
There is no 100% of anything.
Right,
no 100%
right.
evil person,
No.
100% good person. That just
You're right.
doesn't exist.
No, and being okay with the dark is like, so I was listening to some Carl Jung little like stuff like, yeah, me too. And just talking about there's good and bad, like the yin and yang, and like you can't get rid of the bad or unhelpful because in some ways it is helpful, you know. So anyway, he was a good guy.
With some problems.
Yeah, big time, you know. And
you don't stay in touch with him.
No.
So there's no.
I would though.
Was there ever any reconciliation?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I was on tour up there with the band that I had, and I hadn't seen him in years. And we stayed at his house, and I was with my friends, and he parties. You know, he's got like freaking black circles under his eyes, but he's anyway. So the band loads in. We're downstairs, and I was getting, we were all getting high, or not. A couple of them I was. And so we went outside, he and I went outside, and he came up to me, and it was so authentic. And he said, Ryan, I am really sorry about the way that everything went down. And this causes stress because I want to be defensive, even for that thought of him being like, even being authentic. I'm having a tic, so...
Oh, you mean like, you want to, even when he's saying he's sorry...
it's hard for me to be like...
full of shit.
Yeah, totally.
Totally
like
understandable. Well, not only that, but the grown-up you facing him is saying...
What are we about to do?
But the little kid in you is like, going, really? Don't hurt me, you're a dick, I hate you, all that stuff. So.
And that's what I thought of him. Like, I envisioned myself knocking him out with a baseball bat all the time, like... So he said... He's like, I'm really sorry about everything that happened when you were younger and I was with your mom. And I looked him in the eye and I said, it's okay. And I hugged him and I kissed him on the cheek and I said, we're here now, so let's do this. It was kick-ass. Wow. It was kick-ass. It was, for lack of a better term.
That's beautiful.
I kicked his ass with kindness. You know what I mean?
Very few people would probably be able to do that.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, so that's really neat.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It was intense, I don't talk to him. I don't have to. Don't.
Oh yeah, you don't have to carry that around. You know, it's just.
He's cool. I'm cool.
I think especially once we make peace with things, it's a chapter closed, and there's no need to go back and read that book again.
Yep.
Some books you don't mind reading over and over, and some you're like, I know how it turns out.
Yep.
It's okay.
Totally. Go be a book over there.
Yeah.
I'll be a book over here.
Exactly.
Totally.
Absolutely. So how old were you when you first started noticing that you were your outward actions were mirroring your inward feelings, or did you connect it?
5 to 7.
Did you know that it had something to do with itself?
No. Tourette's was new on the scene, and my dad had it. He had different tics and stuff.
So is it genetic?
It is. Do I believe it's fully genetic? Not even close, because kids are coming out now with all these tics and stuff because of all the food and antibiotics and all that stuff. What do they call those things? Immunizations.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
So, and screens cause a lot of neurological...
flashing lights are bad.
Yeah, totally. It's almost like a slower form of epilepsy, It's really interesting, But I'm cognizant when it's happening. I don't know if that's the case with epileptics.
Does it happen all over the brain or in areas?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah, I'm curious
Where does it come from?
Like which region is...
Whoa. Well, there's motor tics. It's a physical disorder is what they say, is what I've heard from the neurologist.
Not mental.
No. Or psychological.
Cool.
No, it's cool. Yeah. It's cool. It's coming from... It's been so long since I've really broken this down. Like, a chemical imbalance, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. That causes these misfires in the brain, but it's physical because the manifestation is physical.
It's interesting. I guess that makes sense, though, because in order for us to move at all, the brain has to get a chemical and then
send
fire and send the message to make it. So it's almost like... Yeah. So here's a question. Are people with Tourette's likely higher intelligence?
Well, shit! I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. I find that dyslexics and people like all these different autism, all that stuff, that whatever's misfiring in the brain, it's almost like the brain makes up for it by being hyper intelligent.
Like a savant somewhere else, maybe?
Yeah. Do you think that that's true? I mean, your paintings are quite beautiful.
Well,
Do you know if...
you. I don't know. I just started doing that.
You just started painting?
Yeah, like 2
Good for you.
years ago. Thank you.
I was late bloomer on that too.
Cool. That's cool. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's great. That is good to hear. That is cool.
I love that.
I don't know. I definitely have like I know we all have peculiar personalities, and but the more that I realize that Tourette's and these disorders are a gift rather than something that I want away from me, the better I get. The more connected I feel.
That makes sense.
The stronger I feel, the more confident I feel. It's kind of like life of pi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're on that boat, the tiger, Tourette's, could devour me, or I could learn to work with it and tame it, or I jump off the boat.
Right.
And jumping off the boat, we've all had those thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so when it first manifested and you're just a little kid and you're already dealing with the stress.
Right.
Were you staying in your body, for lack of a better word, when you were having episodes, or did you disassociate? I listened to one interview with you, and you were saying that you were compulsed to touch a girl's hair.
Yeah, yes.
And so you were aware?
Yes, always. And I think I test the relationships that I have, and I test situations that I have, because it was always popping off from dad or mom. You know what I'm saying? So it was always like, they were very explosive. So I'm like, okay, is that going to hurt me? So I also had a thing. I'm going to get up. So I also had a thing where I would, like if this stove was on,
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I would touch it. Or when I'm working and making my frames, I do the table saw. Like, fucking crazy.
Wow. As long as it's not on, you do that.
No, it's on. It sucks because
I could cut my fucking hand off. To put your hand on the saw.
Yeah.
Is there a gate inside that says maybe not such a good idea, or does it?
Yes.
Are you compulsed to ignore the gatekeeper, or do you? I mean, you clearly still have both your hands.
Yeah, I do.
So
hallelujah.
Thank goodness.
I have to. I know when it's about to happen, because that's an intense feeling of using that saw. So the tic comes. And usually I tighten my calves. I tighten my calves when I go to do a lot of tics, either when I'm driving or on a saw. Anyway, okay. So
what is tightening your calves?
Like I clench my calves and my butthole. How you doing? Good to see. Okay. So my calves and my butthole. So that's telling me that I could have, some pelvic floor issues, Yeah. And my calves are way too big. Like they hurt. So.
Way too big from all the tensing?
I think so. And that's where my stability comes from.
Isometric.
Yeah.
You've been working out your whole life.
God dang! No shit. God dang! I didn't even think about that.
But isometrics will get you fit as a fiddle.
I made that term law. That's good.
So if that's what you do to protect yourself right before it makes sense.
Weird tension.
Big.
Yeah. Maybe I have like one psoas that's like huge and another one that's like just.
Tiny.
Yeah, tiny. So
interesting.
Yeah.
And so the gatekeeper says something's about to go down. Tense up and don't take it all the way.
I did get myself with a saw. It was like butter. Like it was working way too late. I was tired, and I was ripping some molding, like real thin pieces. Yeah. So I was like doing this, and I put my hand in there, and I don't know if you can see the scar. And it just went zip. And I screamed my fucking ass off. I was like, ah! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I shut everything off. I said, okay, that's enough for tonight. So, it's... But what I've learned is that I can avoid everything, or I can put myself in a bubble
Right.
or I can put myself in a box.
Yeah.
But that I want to be out of that box. I want to interact. I want to like enjoy my life as much as I can, and like,
sure,
this is cool. So the more that I avoid all situations, the more that I am less connected, the more that I'm extroverted. And
I would never.
Right, yeah. And I enjoy connecting with people, overall. And like, I like seeing what people are about, just like yourself, So it's like, the more that I stay in this fear box, the more that I don't confront these issues with grace for myself, like the dark we were talking about, the more that Tourette's and OCD becomes something that I despise. And when it's such a big part of my personality, people used to introduce me, this is Ryan, the guy with Tourette's. I used to fucking hate that because I'm Ryan. But let's do it. Yeah. All right, let's talk about it. I got Tourette syndrome. Let's talk about it all damn day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just accepting myself. I guess that's the main goal of everybody. Or accepting themselves,
Right.
So,
well, we all have the albatross. It's just some albatrosses are visible and some aren't.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
So okay, so you're a kid and you're obviously under a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Your mom's getting married a couple different times. Were they only the first stepfather, the yucky one, or were they subsequently yucky?
The next guy was cool. His name was Lee, and he introduced me to music, rock and roll. He helped fix my car. He's an alcoholic, but he had a really good heart.
Yeah.
And I see the anger of George come out in me. I see the goofiness of Lee come out in me. I see the goofiness and defensive nature of my father come out in me, and the insight come out from my father. That man can read someone. It blows my mind. So, and then the next one, Dave, I feel like he had the most potential to be the most psychotic.
Oh,
yeah,
the last one.
No, he was just the next one. Oh, his son was my bully in high school.
No way.
And then my mom opens the door one morning. She's like, "Hey, do you know a kid named David Mack?" And I was like, because I knew she was single and she was trying to mingle, And I was like, "Yeah."
No.
And she's like, I went on a date with his dad. And I was like, every movie, it's like terror. You know what I'm saying?
Worst.
It was crazy.
Did you tell her, please don't?
Fuck yeah, I did.
And she didn't listen?
No, she didn't care.
How old were you at that point?
15, maybe. Maybe 16. Yeah.
And she married him.
She married him.
That's shitty.
It is, Man. It is.
Have you dealt with that stuff with your mom? Have you said
I am.
You are currently?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Is she still alive?
She is.
Okay.
She lives in Texas with my sister, and my sister takes care of her. And my mom had a brain tumor like a few years ago, and there was a point where I really couldn't drive because the tics were really bad. So my sister called me and she's like, "Hey Ryan, mom's in the hospital. She had kind of a stroke." Oh. And she's like, found out that she had a brain tumor the size of a fucking plum on the meningioma. Okay, so I was like, "Oh shit!"
You're entering. So 7 years old. What is that? God, it's not even like second grade.
Yeah, second grade. I was cursing like a sailor. I was like, "Fuck this, fuck that." Second grade.
Did your teachers understand, or did they think this kid is trouble?
All of it.
All of it.
They wanted to understand, but it was new. My mom saw it on Oprah, and she's like, "Oh my god."
Okay, so your teachers are going, "Who is this Hellcat?"
I was moving a lot. Like the first tick I had was like a little squeaky, like a mouse, but it was like way higher pitched then. And then I had shook my head, and it
just came out of the blue.
It did. Oh, I didn't tell you. So I grew up in a house with a lot of mold in it.
Oh, dear.
And I got ear infections all the time, and I would get delirious, is what my mom would say. And I remember seeing spiders on the wall. I would see a huge duck in the bathroom. She'd put me in cold water and try to wake me out of it. I remember her smacking my face. That's how she consoled me.
So you had mold poisoning.
I think so. And Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Howdy.
One more. Okay. Yeah, so we were putting friggin'
Because they in the Salem witch trials,
Yeah.
they say that the ergot, the grain that they kept in the
Totally.
big thing, that
The silos?
the mold, the
Yeah.
mold made them hallucinate.
Yes. And I think that's what was happening to me when I was 3 and 4 years old. I was hallucinating at 3 and 4 years old. What the fuck? Yes, thank you. You know, like, all my friends are like, you need to trip on acid, you need to do MDMA.
Like, just get in my house and lick the wall.
Right. Already been there. 3 and 4 years old, you know. I feel like if I did that now, I wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
Maybe, who knows. Anyway.
Mold is terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible for you. Anyway, so you're hallucinating.
I was, yeah. I
and
remember
your
it
mom
too.
Is trying, was there an association to the mold and the?
I think so. I've asked her questions about it, but I don't think she recalls as much as she can. But I earaches, mold infection. We were the house leaked all the time. It was very old, and there was rust in the water. You turn it on, it was brown. You know, so we were drinking the manganese, and so we
Is that bad for you?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Like,
you got rusty water here?
My shower, when I turn it on, but my water system, I have a really nice filtration that I put in because it terrified me.
And
Natural
this water here
is
is nasty.
terrible.
Oh my God.
It tastes so bad.
I was in Colombia cleaning some damn brushes today, and I was cleaning them for a while, and then I cleaned up and went outside, and I smelled my fingers, and it smelled like bleach.
So you're getting moldy.
Yep.
And hallucinating. What is
At 3 and 4 years old.
There's something in his beard.
Oh, that's the paint. Because I like paint stuff. God damn.
I know. I'm usually, when I'm in paint mode, I'm covered.
Just let it rip.
How did you have? Were you violent at all? Did you want to stab people or anything?
I did.
Like that?
I because of the anger that I had, but I'm a softie.
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy and I have a big heart. So
sure.
I want to friggin' beat people, but then
But when you're little and already your gauges are
totally.
I mean, little kids they punch and fight and do all that stuff. So I wasn't.
I
sure.
I never did it, but I've taken one swing at one face in my whole life.
Did you deserve it?
Yeah.
All right.
But I feel, I hit his tooth.
Oh, ouch!
And I cut my hand. I was like, well, that fucking sucked.
That'll show you.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. I would rather just talk it out. You know?
Yeah.
Totally.
Totally.
I mean, there's time. I don't know. I still have a lot of anger, like a ton. And
do you do therapy now to work?
I do.
On
Yeah. I just actually.
Aside from Tourette's therapy, I know, are they different or is it the same?
No, it's kind of the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Like it's just I think the subconscious, along with just figuring out how I can monitor my behavior and like keep myself calm enough in stressful situations. You know what I'm saying? So I guess everybody's doing that.
Life is stressful.
It kind of is,
Yeah.
Even driving. And shit.
When you dream, do you have Tourette's in your dreams?
These questions are radical. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But I never die. Do y'all ever die in your dreams?
I think I've come close to dying before.
Yeah. I don't.
That's
a
one
great
thing.
question.
But I just wonder because, I mean.
Yeah. Who the fuck asked that question? That's sweet, man. Yeah,
all right,
that's
I'll
good.
report back to me.
Yeah, I will.
If
I will.
Do you remember your dreams?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you'll have to report back and see if you have Tourette's in your dreams.
I've never even thought of that.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Wow. Do you?
And then I wonder, no.
Tourette's in your dreams?
I don't, but
that's cool.
It's an interesting thing because if you can lucid dream, that's
Yeah.
right. You're in your dream
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
in your dream and you're dreaming.
Yep.
I wonder if it's possible to transfer that into waking life.
Huh.
And somehow make the Tourette's calm down a little bit more by whatever it is that's keeping you not having Tourette's in your dreams. I'm just going on.
I'm into that shit though. I mean, that's that's like real deal. I think that's more.
Maybe pull it out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe it's just a thought. I don't know if it's just because everything's so connected.
Yeah, it really is.
Maybe.
I have a lot of lucid. It's annoying when it's like last night I was lucid dreaming and I'm just like shut up, okay. But
I think it's so.
I lucid dream like a motherfucker, man. I
it's
hear it a lot. It really is because you can almost control what's happening. You know what I mean?
So if you don't have Tourette's in your dreams...
What if I could put Tourette's in the dream?
Oh,
and leave it there?
That'd be cool.
Uh-oh.
Like switch sides with your...
non-Tourette self.
Yeah.
But if Tourette was not here...
would you be a different person?
Right.
So that's a good question. I
Would
know
I be
we're
less
jumping
stressed?
all over the
No,
place,
it's cool,
but that's
though.
the way conversation works. So,
this is cool.
So do you think, like, if you could just take it away, would you? Because I know that you identify as a person with Tourette's, but at the same time, you're still just you're a person.
Totally,
so
totally. And
you wouldn't change your eye color, or
Yeah. Y'all need to come on this podcast because these are good questions. Okay, so could I turn it on and off, or just over? It's gone.
It's up to you.
Right.
You're answering the question.
Well, I think if I could get rid of it. See, my first answer is to get rid of the obsessive compulsive disorder, because that wears me out.
Separate.
Yeah. Not really, but they're defined as separate, but they go together. So it's like
the peanut butter and jelly.
Right. Yeah, and the same damn sandwich, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's no, because I just said that. That's incredible. So because I believe that I can work with it so much, and that I can be in control of it, and also in control of how I allow it to affect me. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
Awesome. so like, I wouldn't want it to go, though it wears me out. But all I need to do is focus on my behavior, what I allow into my mind and body, and then that kind of goes away. But I have the food addiction, I have the emotional addiction, I have freaking just random addictions that when I'm stressed I go there, you know. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm in those addictions, these tics and obsessions are happening, and it's like I step back, you know, I look at myself in the palm of my hand, I'm like, wow, look at me go, you know what I mean? So it's like, if I could, when I am able to be more sensible about my behavior and all that stuff, the Tourette's is not really an issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you have food stuff too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I eat like trash right now, though. It kind of bums me.
Well, you're quite lithe. So
what does lithe mean?
Slender.
Well, I got this right here. That's where it's all at. It's like this is just.
He's pointing to his belly.
Yeah, this thing is big. My shirt's on. No, anyway. So but I was on medication for about 25 years, like psychotropic drugs for this, because they didn't know how to.
What did they do to you?
Well, okay.
And this is from being a child. They put you on drugs?
Oh yeah. Oh, I was probably maybe 10.
Oh my god.
10 years old, and you're gonna be on fucking
mind.
Yes, altering drugs.
Pretty nutty.
Literally.
Yeah. What did they do to you?
Yeah. So, made me tired, made me anxious. I would look at a simple, when I got older, maybe 20 something. I'd look at a simple plumbing arrangement under a sink, and I could not even compute how it would work after I was done looking at the curve into the wall. Mm. Like, I didn't understand that it went somewhere. Okay, here's another example. I went and saw The Matrix in 1997. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. It
was awesome. So, walked out of there, and I asked my friend, I'm like, hey, what was that about? That's exactly why you're asking that question. That is what it's about.
Yeah.
Like, these drugs are allowing me to not understand a movie that is about the drugs.
Right. It's wild.
Literal, you know?
Yeah.
So it really clouded me. But you know what? I was still myself on them. But when I got off of them, my creativity, my word recollection, I feel like my intellect rose. Like, I could notice that I was more in touch with, like I said, creativity and just connectedness overall. Like, it blew my mind. I started building stuff, taking shit apart. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you stay on them for a constant throughout your childhood, or
Oh,
did
yeah.
you take time off and say?
If I forgot, if I didn't refill them, and then I would fucking trip out.
What would it do?
I just start having tics like crazy, like cool, hello.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, but it was part of my persona. You know what I'm saying? So
Were kids
cool
cruel or cool
Yeah.
about it?
cruel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really have a lot of friends in school at all. And I'm always trying to find the group that is not accepting me to push my way into it.
Sure.
So I can just feel abused or you know what I'm saying?
Repeating patterns.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a comfort zone. If you grow up abused, it's comfortable.
You know it.
That equals
Yeah.
love in its own twisty little way. So, yeah.
And that just becomes really dark, you know? Mm-hmm. And hard to even see through.
Did you do well in school?
No.
Did you go to college?
For 2 years. You know. But you know what? I excelled in the things that I liked. I really enjoyed writing. I really enjoyed. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
I truly believe madness and creativity, they dance the dance together, you know, under the moonlight. So, so did the OCD manifest at the same time as the Tourette's? Oh, that's me. I'm sorry.
That is the moonlight. Damn it. That's good.
I gotta remember my bonus.
How you guys doing? Who's calling? No, I'm just kidding.
It's not a call.
It's cool.
It's for that vibraphonic fun that
Cool.
that I'm supposed to.
Cool.
Yeah, anyway, I'm trying to turn this off here.
That's cool.
Um,
Or something.
It's my Martian sound that I love so much. It reminds me of home. So I did the OCD. The OCD and the Tourette's come on at the same time.
Yeah, I think so.
And so OCD is a pattern thing, right? Or
Yeah.
is it all different things?
I think it's all different in one thing. I know it's kind of like the physical and metaphysical, you know? Like you can't have one without the other, I feel like. Here anyway, you know?
Yeah.
So
So if you're reaching out, you maybe have to reach out 4 times or, you know.
Yes, and like make it to where either the muscle or the line of vision matches up with the index finger on how it touches the angle of the object and the angle that I'm moving my hand.
And what if it does it wrong?
Fuck that! You know, like you do it over and over and over.
Until it doesn't do it wrong. So is there a particular number that you respond to, or is it... Oh, really?
I would tap myself. Wait, that was probably 12. It's been a long time, but it was 8. Yeah.
You would do 8. Oh, that's infinity.
Is it?
Yeah.
Shit!
The number 8 is the symbol of the cosmic universe.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's where I live.
Yeah, the cosmic universe is an 8 on its side. So, it's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. It's good to find the magic in the
madness. Right. Yeah. You got to. Yeah.
You have to.
Right.
Else the madness will take over.
Overtake you.
Yeah. All right, so you got off the drugs, and now you're at that point. You're how old? 20?
No, I was 35.
Okay, I'm terrible at math.
That's
clearly.
okay. Me too. It's all right.
How were you terrified to go off of the?
Yes, but it was just one day I stopped, and that's
did
how.
Did you make that decision?
Yeah.
Or did your doctor say let's try?
Doctors, they were worthless to me at that time.
Yeah.
They would probably tell me just to. I love you. That's sorry.
No,
sorry,
you're fine.
Sorry.
You're totally fine.
It's kind of stressful talking about the drugs. So anyway, it's cool. It's cool. Okay, so I just stopped because I started taking this drug called Provigil, and Provigil made me feel. It was like cocaine, kind of. You know, I've never done cocaine, but I could imagine what the fuck it felt like.
It's fun,
right? Yeah. But it was...
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah, right. What's your... Maurice.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Anyway.
It was a long time ago.
Right. Kinda. No, I'm just kidding.
Very long time ago.
Right. So, you know, I would take a quarter of this pill, you know, and just go for it. And so then I was like... getting them refilled and sharing them because we were all trying to get jacked up, you know.
What do they do to somebody that hasn't got
just
Tourette's?
Focused, like insanely focused. So why would you put a person with an anxiety disorder on a stimulant?
It is weird.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it exacerbated the tics. Like it was really interesting the way that made them worse, like in the thinking, and like it was really interesting.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah.
How were you with relationships? Were you dating or anything
Married,
throughout your 20s?
We had just gotten married, Christine and I, and it's like I started taking this drug right before we had gotten married. We got married. So,
well, let's step back before
Yeah,
the marriage.
yeah.
How do you become in a stable relationship? How do you like bring this and say, "Hey, I've got this thing," and
can't hide it.
You know,
right? You meet me, you're
so,
just like,
she was just like, "Cool, we'll just
the past girlfriends, and I was a nice guy, and I was like one that I felt like the ones who felt they could direct and take care of a man. Mm-hmm. That was me. Mm-hmm. So they would, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like kind of control a little
Sure.
bit. But I was on so much medication that I didn't even realize that shit was happening. Plus I was younger.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we all have our, the 20s.
Right. I was
Whatever.
a freaking fool. We were talking about that. Just like, I mean, what were you doing when you were 22?
Oh, just doing everything in the hardest way possible.
Right.
I mean,
right.
Really.
Because it was how you were going to do it. Right?
Yeah, and you just don't have skills yet, and
right.
you're smarter than everyone. And,
oh, yeah.
You know how it is.
So that's not just like...
And you haven't unraveled to re-ravel yet at 20-ish.
Yeah, that's good.
So...
Not even close.
Yeah. You have to take all the knots apart and see the craziness and then put them back together in proper order. I think. If you're lucky, you get to do that.
I said that the other day. Yeah. Like, if you are granted the chance to be at the bottom and analyze yourself and then rebuild, what a blessing.
It really is.
Oh,
it's like you don't know, again, that whole, you don't know the dark till you don't know the light till you know the dark. Yeah. You don't know and you can't have empathy for the world until you see yourself. Yeah. And all your foibles and sadness and anger and all this stuff. If you can't see that in yourself, how are you supposed to see the world?
Yeah, truly.
And love it.
Yes.
No matter what. Yeah. Because that's all we're trying to do with ourselves, right?
Yep.
We're just trying to figure out how to love ourselves so that we can then in turn mirror the world. It's a tough journey.
That's the only journey, you think?
Yeah. I do think.
I feel like if you love yourself, you're able to just more clearly understand just what's happening around you, A, and B, you can give from fullness rather than from emptiness, you know?
Yeah.
Man, what a trip.
Yeah.
What a trip.
So you get off the drugs.
Yeah.
And what is your first...
Here we are.
And here we are. So you get off the drugs, and then where did your skills come in to try and embark on that new adventure? Or was it just a train wreck at first, and then, or was it okay?
The painting? Or
no, the getting off the drugs and dealing with the Tourette's and the OCD.
Yes, that was the breaking down of everything I knew. And
you were married.
I was.
Newly.
Mm-hmm. And, Christina started teaching in Metro Public Schools, so she was consumed with that. I was having so many tics that I really had a hard time even, like, driving, like I said, or being in... See, it's interesting to talk about. Yeah. But I still found ways to make money. Because it was like, okay, dude, because when I was younger, I didn't really... I had sleep apnea, I was tired, had a hard time hanging on the job, so my friends, thank you all my friends, would just let me stay at their house, and I wouldn't pay rent. Hey, can I borrow $10? Sure, I'll pay you back next week. So I was like, I didn't understand that was putting people out. Yeah. So anyway, I'm thankful for that. But when I got married, it's like, okay, dude, go time. This is what's about to happen. So when I got off the medication, it was 2010, maybe 11.
Not even that long ago, really.
No.
Okay.
No. And because I was trying to do this detox, we moved out to the country for the first time, and we lived in Bellevue and in an apartment, and I remember feeling like a ghost, like I would move, but I would trail myself, and then it's kind of like I would move, trail myself, and then have to bring myself back, kind of like a rubber band, what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I remember that and being paranoid, hearing stuff, I was really having a hard time. And then there was a girl downstairs that didn't know what she was in for because I would be like, shit.
No,
sorry.
It's
So
okay.
I'd be like stomping on the floor. Her name was like Katie or something. I'd be like, Katie's a fucking cunt, like yelling at her. I couldn't fucking stop this, man. So, so I wrote her a letter and I was like, hey, this is what's up. And she was an ICU nurse at Vanderbilt.
So she understood.
She got a little bit of it, thank the
Yeah,
Lord.
good.
So yeah, so I
didn't know what I was supposed to
No,
do.
you're good. You're doing a great job. So I wrote her a letter, and every time I'd walk out the door, there'd be a fire. There's a fire alarm right there. Oh, that was a thing too.
Oh.
When I get on planes, I'd yell bomb and hijack. Like,
Isn't that interesting? You connect. It's like your brain's connecting all the dots.
yeah.
And then the little voice is like, say all the worst possible thing.
At the worst possible fucking time.
At the worst moment.
Yeah, but you're getting the raw.
Because
bottom
everybody
line.
thinks it.
Yes.
That's
It's
the
just
thing.
coming out.
It's
Yeah.
coming out of you.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I've been in line many a times where I'm like, what would happen if I yelled bomb right
Right.
now? And so it crosses the brain pan.
Yes.
It's just you don't have the gatekeeper going, that's not a really good
Right.
idea right now.
I know that it's not a good thing, but it just comes out.
Anyway.
You know?
So, okay.
That's
did
intense.
Now I want to ask about...
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay,
Anything.
well, let's stay with the did you pull the
One
fire?
time. One time I did. That was when I was 19 in Michigan. I
Oh,
pulled the
okay.
fucking fire. I would call. We had landline, right?
Yeah.
I would have an obsession to pick up the phone, dial 911, and when she picked up, hang up.
Oh, I must have made them crazy.
They'd call back, is everything okay? And I did. I said, yeah, it was an accident. But the third time I did it, they're like, what's happening here? I was like, okay, this is the situation. Parents went away on a week's vacation. They took the keys to the brand new
ride.
Porsche. Anyway, so the lady was like, stay on the line long enough so I know it's you. And then it's fine. And I was like, well, that ain't going to work.
Oh.
So I was like, I'll try. So I was drawn to the fucking phone from here. I would walk over to the phone.
Electricity.
Yeah.
Maybe
yes.
your brain needed the electricity
Who
stimuli.
knows? It was
That's
crazy.
interesting.
So, yeah.
What about lights?
You mean turn them on and off?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's the OCD
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, I would stick my hand in the fan and I'd put my hand in damn near anything you got. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'd like beat my computer. I'm not trying to do that to yours, but
Yeah.
slam doors. I would bite.
Glass and
I
stuff.
busted a couple glass. Yeah, it's crazy.
Holy moly! So
I'm
what
still
happened when you yell bomb in an airport? They don't like that much.
No.
So what happened when you did that?
Shit.
Did you get arrested?
No, nothing happened. I would disguise it enough to where people would be like, some bitch just say that, but I'd be like, ah, and I would tell them before I get on the plane, I have this. If you have a row that you're trying to give me by myself, it might make everybody a little more comfortable. Like I was the blistering sore. I felt like that.
Yeah.
But now, fuck it, I'll get on the plane. Hey, this is what's happening here. If you want to move, you can move, but I'm staying here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but if it got too much, I would move. You know what I mean? So.
All right, I'm going to ask you a super personal
I
question.
want it. Yes.
How did this affect your sex life?
God dang it! What an interesting question.
I mean, because first of all, there's an intimacy that you have to
Yeah.
be vulnerable anyway, and if
Yeah.
vulnerability was one of your triggers,
Right.
then that takes it up a notch. So how do you find peace with that?
Good question. I don't know. I really don't know. I guess it's just trial and error, you know, and also when endorphins are happening, not happening. You know, it's like I'm so focused. It's kind of like when you're getting tattooed. Like while you're I'm equating sex to getting mutilated. Okay, so when someone's pulling a line, going back to the cocaine. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
When someone's pulling a line, it's so intense. And
On
you're
your
just like,
tattoo, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
so no movement.
Yeah.
And I'm able to stop that. But when it stops, I can move around a little bit. You know what I'm
because
saying?
you're covered in tattoos, so
Yeah,
that's
got a lot of them.
yeah.
So it's like, when people ask me that, how do you
And
do
your
that?
tattoos are really nice. They're
thank you,
very
thank you.
even lines,
Thank
and
you, thank you.
it's not
Got
like
some
nobody went
good
crazy.
folks. Well, I got this one, sucks. It says Ja. I was 19.
Yeah, the jaw is in the
Ja
Rasta.
War. Yes!
Oh, I don't know.
No, totally, that's it. So I got that one, and then I got this one that says Jesus on graffiti. I was 19.
And Patrick. Who's Patrick?
Patricia.
Oh, Patricia.
My mom,
That's
Patrick. It's cool.
That's all right. I didn't see the
no,
whole
it's okay.
thing.
It's okay. And then some other bullshit. So it's all good.
All right,
But
so
anyway.
focus. Laser focus, and then intimacy works out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's all full steam ahead, I can go. It's kind of like playing guitar.
Yeah.
When you play really slowly, it's hard for people to play is it hard for you to play very slowly and easier to play a little faster if you're strumming?
I think it's the opposite for me.
Okay, totally cool.
Yeah,
Totally cool.
I have trouble with the faster stuff still.
Cool. Like keeping time with it?
No, I can keep
Cool.
time.
Cool.
It's more like whatever frame I'm in, time signature I'm in, I can keep it, but then I have trouble with like speeding it up to a certain. I get anxiety about it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. For me,
I
slowing
haven't
down.
been playing a guitar a long time.
How long have
so
you been playing guitar?
just a few years. I'm not great at. I'm good enough to play in rounds.
And write songs.
But
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
little
That's
by
the
little,
charm,
I'm
dude.
adding
Yeah.
a fast song at a time, and I'll get there. I just have to be patient. With
220 beats per minute.
Yeah, something like that. I'm gonna join a punk band.
That's what you probably could.
Well,
Would you
not
play
yet.
guitar, or would you sing, or play bass?
If I was in a punk
Yeah,
band,
what would you
I'd
do?
sing. That'd
Cool.
be super fun.
What kind of... Do you like punk music?
I do. I like some.
What do you got?
Well, I mean, when I was in high school, we listened to the Misfits and, Dehumanizers, just like crazy,
Wow.
crazy social distortion.
Yes.
We listened to all this stuff when we were in high
Cool.
school.
In Seattle?
Yeah, in Seattle.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
Wait, you lived in Seattle when the whole grunge thing happened?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, you're authentic. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so, and my brothers are much older than I am, so I had all their musical tastes. I had my parents' musical tastes, and then the kids that I was running around with, which we were all, quote unquote troubled and bummed out.
How you should have been, I guess, right?
As a kid, so I was not, the cheerleader by any means.
Sure.
So yeah.
Neither was I.
Yeah.
I
I had my own knots to unravel.
Yeah. Yes.
So
That's cool.
yeah. All right. So now let's get to the painting. When did you get? I'm sure there's like a million questions I'm not asking that I should.
It's okay.
But
It's okay.
and I do find it. Do you think you're gonna deal with this forever? Right? It doesn't really go away.
It does.
Oh, it does
for a lot
go
of
away.
people, it goes away, but for me, it hasn't went away.
Do you think it's because you haven't worked out all the stuff yet? Maybe. Or?
Yeah, I think I think right now that I can see, there's a few key things that either become okay with them and work with them, or stay here. Didn't we say something? We were talking about a quote earlier. I don't remember, but there's some things that I need to work on, like anger, intimacy in general.
Yeah.
I can connect, but I still have a barrier. I'm pretty open, and I have no problem with that. But when it comes to certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Like certain settings, I'm pretty guarded.
Yeah.
So, and if I don't work on those things, I'm not going to grow. In the way that I feel like I need, I desire to and need to, and I'm terrified of them. Like I'm fucking terrified,
Of the growth or of facing
them. I like a lot of folks, I've faced a lot of intense shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, for not toot my own horn, like the things that I hear most when people refer to me is, oh, he's a great guy. Oh, he's such a light. Oh, he's so positive. Oh, he's like, he can brighten the room. Oh man, I wish I had your, just your strength and you're fearless and all this shit. But when I look at myself, I don't even see that shit. Like that is a non-thing for me. Like I told a group of 35 high schoolers today that when I get stressed out, I eat my booger sometimes. You know what I mean? I was teaching them how to keep painting and keep doing art, and that for me, I don't give a shit about that. Like I will tell you deep, weird things about me. I don't care because it's coming out in some way.
But that's because of the Tourette's or just because of you?
Because both. I think the Tourette's, I've not.
What a blessing that is.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you're like the most
Okay
real. Yeah, and
so
so many people are wearing all their masks.
Right.
And the irony is, here you have this outlandish,
right.
wacky, demonstrative issue that is really actually you're as real as it gets.
Wow, I appreciate that.
It's like all the shit people feel on the inside when they walk into a room and are super stressed. They're knots in their stomach.
Yeah. But they remain calm.
Yeah, but your body's just acting it out. Yeah. So you're more in your truth than anybody.
God dang, man.
Which is pretty beautiful. Really get down to the nuts and bolts of it.
Thanks.
It's a pain in the ass, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and
I think that's part
in
of
the grocery
it.
store when you're picking out your fruits.
Yeah. Or chugging the box of cereal with this chick over here. You're like, you like this kind? Anyway, whatever. Haven't done that. That's some fucking crazy stories, though, man. It's all good.
So you got to music before you got to painting.
Yeah.
Did music help calm down the symptoms? Or?
Nah.
I don't know what to call it. Is it symptoms?
Sure.
What do you call it?
Whatever.
Symptoms,
symptoms.
Manifestations.
Tics or whatever.
Tics.
Yeah, manifestations. Kind of the same thing. It didn't. I played in punk bands. Very fast, heavy rock music.
So you can
Screamed
mask
a lot.
it.
Yeah.
And you're okay to swear, of course, because it's punk band. Doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah, no shit. And I was like, I was screaming a lot, so my diaphragm got really tight, and it's in my lyrics, there was always a bright side to these lyrics, but I was just like any artist trying to deal with that, deal with the two sides, and then I was forced to not do that anymore because we moved so far away and the band's kind of
in Columbia.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
I feel like it was orchestrated by the forces above, like to detox and go on this like health thing. But I think it ended up serving me in a different way, or the perfect way.
How did it serve you? I mean, because it sounds kind of isolated.
It was.
And you seem rather social.
And it drove me fucking... But that was the bottom. That was the rung that I had to fall off onto the ground to look at myself. Because I was forced to, because I couldn't drive. I didn't have a fucking phone. I was in this house on 14 acres by myself with these dogs. Like...
While your wife was working?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do anything, And I was like... At one time, I made this huge garden. Never had a garden before. And I remember out there tilling some dirt, and I just fell down and took all my clothes off and rolled around in the dirt crying. Like, out of nowhere. Just honestly repenting and just...
Releasing.
Yes. Yeah. And it was awesome.
Back to the earth.
Yeah. Literally,
That's pretty profound.
What the fuck?
I mean...
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I had my underwear on. People. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so like... Yeah, whatever. So... But then August 12th, 2012, I, from like 11 p.m. till 8 a.m., that is when I first believed in God. So I was out there.
That gives me the shivers.
Oh, cool.
August 12th?
August 12th, 2012. Cool.
So what happened on that date?
Yes. So we had two dogs, Morris and Root Beer. And Root Beer got hit by a car.
Oh, sucks.
What a shitty thing.
That's the worst.
It was a mother effer. Buried him. That was a dug a 4-foot hole in the pasture and buried him.
Yeah.
That was refining. I tell you that. So, I there were a lot of stars out there. I could see a lot of stars up here. I couldn't see as many stars. So, I was just outside, and I was looking up, and I was fucked. In my mind, I was just like, what? What am I doing? It was scary and sad. So, I just didn't have any money, but we had everything that we needed to do that. And we did it, So, so I was out there looking at the stars and these dogs are around me and they're kind of puppies at that time. Still big. And so I was looking up and then it hit me like, this shit goes forever. Like it literally hit me that I was so small. And this is typical, but it's like any offshoot of any star in any direction through the earth, sticking my thumb out, through my thumb to the right forever. Forever! Mm-hmm. That's insane!
Yeah.
So then I felt pushed. I felt like God pushed with the thumb, pushed me to my knees. And I felt either pulled to my knees, and I don't over spiritualize things, so this is crazy that I'm even going here. Do you hear me, you guys? Okay. Anyway, so I felt pushed or magnetized to my knees, and then I feel like this vision that I had was of a chessboard, and I feel like the Father allowed me to see what was happening here on this planet. That you have different towers that we all build to become our own little gods. Like Brad Pitt is this god, or Barack Obama is this. Well, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like Martin Luther King is,
right. Sure.
So we are only filling a role, and we are playing that role according to the archetype that is happening. Mm-hmm. So in our lives, maybe we're not even aware of it, So, and then there, the purpose we make up and all this shit. So anyway, so I'm looking at this, and I felt his hand was extended. Yo, this is what's happening. This is crazy. You're not crazy. You're seeing this and you're understanding this. The medicine is gone. You are just like everybody else, and you have all of my strength to keep going. And then it was like retracted, and then that was gone, and then my hands went up, and I repented the whole night, laying on the ground, rolling around out in front. The garden is in the back. Okay, so before all that,
was your wife there?
She was sleeping.
Oh, okay.
She was sleeping. So I was outside just hooting and hollering, wailing,
Yeah.
So before all that, I think what led me into this was I was sitting on the porch on the step, and I just was crying. And then the dogs came up to me. Love you a ton. So the dogs came up to me, and Morris, my dog that's still alive, pushed his head into my chest. And then Root Beer started licking my ear. These dogs could tell that I was hurting.
Yeah.
And I was like,
don't you love dogs?
oh, it was unbelievable, man.
I was going to ask, that was going to be my next question, is if the dogs could tell before you would have a moment.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't stop. And I was just hugging them, and they wouldn't stop. And then I went out and looked at the stars, and that's when it all fell out. It was unbelievable.
That's incredible.
That was
beautiful.
It was cool.
That's beautiful. Because we spend our entire life looking outwards for everything. Mm-hmm. Our validation and our love and our like all this stuff. Mm-hmm. Are we not good enough? Are we not pretty enough? Should my lips be bigger? Should my hair be shinier? Should everything is outside. Mm-hmm. It's none of that stuff. Mm-hmm. It's always been in me. Yeah. We're not alone because we have ourselves, and in within us is the source of all things. Yep. At least from my perspective.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you believe. I mean, I believe I was created. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I feel like the soul is infinite. I don't know. I'm not even. Today I'm not thinking about that. You know what I mean? But I feel like if I was created, then whatever breath created me gives the body and the soul life. So that spot in me, that the creator, whatever energy, where that dwells, that is everything that it is inside of all of us. So it's like at the centermost point is where we're digging. But we're digging, like you said, we're digging out here when hopefully we can get in here and dig and then see all of that beauty in here. Yeah. That is the test.
And right? I think that's what we do every time we date someone or make friends with someone, is that we're seeking ourselves.
Yeah, copy that.
And
to fulfill those parts.
Yeah, or whatever it is. Even the broken, to understand the broken, we partner up with people who are broken. Yeah, totally. Or who bring out our most broken bits. Or
totally.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or we are drawn to people. It's so fascinating and interesting. I love it.
Yeah. Well, me too.
It's a mess sometimes, but it's a beautiful mess.
Good frickin' yes. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Did you ever listen to that Sixpence None the Richer record?
I know that.
This Beautiful Mess. Did you ever listen to that record?
Yeah, I've heard songs off of there.
It's a great record. Yeah. That one is...
Her voice is beautiful.
Yeah.
Lee Nash. So, painting. How did you find your way to painting?
Oh, man. So I was working at Whole Foods in Franklin. And my friend Alex Miracle, that's his name.
That's his real name?
His name's Jerry Alex Miracle, right?
Oh my gosh.
He's awesome. That is a stud. If I've ever met like a younger guy that is a damn stud, it is him. He's just, for his age, he's just...
Got it.
He's just really respectful and just like an honest, has a lot of integrity. Good guy. He's good looking too. So and he played in my band for a while, and he has his own band, and he is like, if you're like, yo, we're practicing at 5:00, he's there ready to jam. Like he works, and he's just he's awesome. So I saw the art he did, and I was like working at Whole Foods stocking these shelves. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I can deal with these people. It's fine. What the fuck am I doing? So then I had a thought of like, well, like one thick stroke of red would look really cool on like dark gray. Just, and that's it.
That was just a random thought.
Yeah, that's it. And
you had never gone there before?
Not with painting. Like, I drew my Nike Air Jordans when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I drew the fuck out of those things. Like, it was actually really good. But so I'm realizing that the desire that I had when I was 12 and 13, the budding years, like, it seems like I had to allow that to come back, because I really enjoyed that shit, but I was like, oh, no.
Well, it was probably sent away with the drugs.
Yeah. And all the shit that I was like, whoa, fuck, is that dude going to beat my ass? Is he going to beat my mom's ass? You know what I'm saying? So it's like...
Yeah, war zone.
So focus on other shit, So anyway, I was like, man, a frame would look really cool around that too. So then I was just like, well, maybe someday. I went over to my friend Adam's house, and he's a good guy. We played music together. And I was like, dude, I think I want to start painting. And he's like, dude, I got all these friggin' acrylic paints in here. He's like, you can have them. And I was like, what the fuck? So he had boards, and I painted. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
What is your art website? So that people can go?
It's ryanrado.com. But Ryan...
your Instagram.
Ryan_Rado, RYAN_RADO. Come on with it.
That's on Instagram. They're really lovely. You go check it out for sure.
That's weird to hear. You know what I mean?
Is
Just like
it?
when someone, kind of. Yeah. I mean, we can only do what we do with painting. You know what I'm saying?
I do know exactly what you're saying.
It's like,
the commissions stress me out.
God dang it!
They
Talk
stress
about
me
it.
out so bad because
I'm thinking about that too much.
Whenever I do a commission, I end up painting 2 or 3.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So that they can pick because my anxiety level is so high.
I respect that. I'm not trying to stress me out, sister. Yeah, it's true. I mean, you're just like.
You're like, please, what if you hate this? And you're spending this money, and so I usually paint a few.
Yeah.
And then say, all right, is there one you particularly like more? And it helps me to
And it hits them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes they buy all, that's happened before, but usually they pick out a favorite and that's cool. So
yeah. And you made it through that one.
But when I'm just painting for the joy of it, I don't think. I
don't
just
either.
completely let go and
like
whatever.
You're in it.
Yeah, and whatever
totally.
comes up.
And that's a blessing.
Yeah, it's like that. Is it Leonardo da Vinci that said that he was just trying to get the person out of the stone? They were in there, and he just carved away until they showed up.
That's incredible.
So I think that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm. You ever feel like you're reaching into a black hole and like pulling out?
Yeah.
And then there it is.
Yeah, songwriting is like that for me, and painting is like that for me, and I mean writing in general, I think. Yeah. But I feel like it's all just sort of floating around in the ether, and we pull it down. And that if you don't pull it down at that moment, it'll float on to the next person.
And you'll get some... Yeah, dude. Yes.
That's how it feels to me.
Yeah. It's just all around them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I have a question.
Cool.
So, I'm thinking like... so I noticed when you were talking about that guy that you respect and love and think...
Alex.
The miracle guy.
Yeah.
That you had a particular movement.
I did. Tell me what it was.
It was...
was it this thing?
Yeah, it was that thing. So do particular movements go with particular people or thoughts?
Not really.
So it's randomized.
Yeah, well, let me recall that. Okay, Alex Miracle. Maybe I shouldn't be so stoked and act like I'm kissing Alex's butt. That is
it went to an anxiety place.
Yes. So, but that is not the case because Alex and I are great friends. Yeah. So it's like I hear hecklers saying that.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, but Alex and I, we offer each other friendship and encouragement. Yeah. So that's bullshit over here. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Dodge has helped me to realize is like, okay, where is the fear entering here with these tics? Recognize it, call it out. And I do
It's
that.
like casting out your demons.
Exactly. Yeah,
you
that's
say
it.
it by
Yeah,
a
that's
name.
it.
Isn't that in the Bible?
Yes,
They
yes,
say the
yes.
demon by its name and it has to leave you.
Into the pigs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
man,
cool.
it's fucking on. Okay. So...
you're very delightful.
Thanks.
I'm really
Appreciate
enjoying
that.
this a lot.
I am too.
I feel like you're a
appreciate
kindred spirit, which is so fun to meet people where you're like, oh, I see you.
Yeah.
I know you.
You relate on the wackiest of shit.
Yeah.
Even the realest shit, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like all of us have, in our own way, our particular quirks or idiosyncrasies. Like I think about in wintertime, and I still in the summer too. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I get shocked really easily.
Sure, me too. Yeah, totally.
So I have my own little thing that 3 times I have to touch things, like the door before I touch the doorknob. I have to
make sure
it 3 times,
yeah.
and that's a developed tic out of necessity because I get shocked constantly.
Yes,
but I do it even at times when I probably know I won't get shocked, but it's become this habitual thing. And here's a trippy thing: is I was with my mother.
Yep.
Last year I was visiting home and my dad was doing something, so Mom and I went to lunch and she was in front of me going into this building and she tapped the door 3 times. And I thought, oh, it's so weird.
Yeah,
and
totally,
I didn't
man.
ask her about it.
Yeah.
But I in my brain pan, I thought, oh, it's so fascinating.
Yeah.
Does she get shot? Does she?
Right.
And I don't know why I didn't ask her.
And where did that come from in her?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yep. And you said that it's got a genetic component. So
it can, for sure.
And I know the gnashing of the teeth, that's genetic. It's just something might trigger it. Mm-hmm. So it's like everything is living inside of our brain.
But is it unlocked?
Unlocked.
By stress.
Yeah.
Or
whatever it is.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. That's incredible.
So interesting.
It is, man.
So every time you reached out and touched me during this conversation, is that just a connectivity? But what goes through your mind, I guess, right before you do that, or while you're doing it? Are you like, fuck, why am I doing this? Or are you going, this is fun, this
that's
is a
always
friend?
there.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, what crosses the mind right before or during?
Right. The brain pan. I like how you say that. I'll be suggesting something or being vulnerable and...
or even if you get excited about something.
Yes. It's like, hey, calm down, fucker. Oh. Don't reject me because I'm getting excited. We're still here. Right. That's kind of... Or go to your room or like sit on your hands, calm down. That's what that's about. Like, I'm still here. We're hanging out, you know? Yeah. So, and it's interesting that my hand goes to...
The heart.
I've had a tic where I do like the breasts. Yeah. Oh my god!
You know where I went with that though in my head. That's where I went with.
And that's probably it.
Yeah, that you're actually reaching out to somebody in the heart because you're speaking truth or you're trying to connect with them in that way.
Yeah. But it's also the D on dudes.
Oh really?
Like I'll freaking tap that fucking thing, you know?
Really?
But I mean that's awkward, but it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
It's
I wonder what that's the root, right? So
I guess so, yeah.
And for men, that's the source of all their power, right?
Yeah, it really is.
And for women, it is the breast. It's they feed from there, and it's their heart is housed in there. The bosom. It's like all those connotations.
It's like I'm
loving.
reaching toward the
vulnerable
deepest part of this, and seeing if they can hang.
That's so interesting.
Okay, cool. You know, so it's like. Yeah, and that's caused a lot of issues for me and other people. But the more that I tell the truth about how I feel and what I'm doing, the better I feel because the truth sets you free. And I've nothing. I just don't have shit to hide. Yeah. You know, I mean, I still do, but when I'm hiding things or operating in an inferior personality, I start going down. Yeah. Because I'm not able to either express myself or exercise the superior parts of my personality, you know.
So you feel bad when you know things more than other people? Is that what you mean? What do you mean by superiority?
Oh no. Kind of like the good things about the helpful things. Like I'm honest, I'm loving, I'm empathetic. Yeah. But when I engage in deceit, even hiding like white lies, like even little things that I know that are eating at me, that's when I feel a lot of shame.
Boy, if only everybody had that.
But I'm not a fucking, you know, like, I
mean,
know.
that's what I was saying earlier, is that it's also this, to be somebody who is so in their truth, you know, everybody else could learn a lot from you for that. Honestly,
Not all the time. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So there it is, the blessing and the curse.
Yeah, true.
It's like mythology 101,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, the gods would curse the mortals and bless them with their divine gifts, and then make sure there was always that backdoor fuck you.
Yes.
They always did that.
Totally.
The gods
to keep you grounded.
I guess.
On the fucking...
And on your toes.
Yeah, seriously. My mom said that to me.
Yeah, keep you on your toes.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
Someone's gonna fuck with me? No, I'm just kidding, Let me show you this.
Okay, yeah.
What kind of time do we got?
We're good. I mean, it's...
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the first painting I ever made. I did it with my fingers.
Cool.
And it's just on a piece of wood.
It's beautiful.
And it's like, thanks.
It is on the Instagram, people.
Yeah, peeps. So it's like...
It's beautiful.
Thanks. I just took those in front of my friend Adam. I just started fucking with these paints and made a few like that. And then I'll show you the most recent painting I made. Let me show you. Yeah.
Do you, when you're not doing a commission and you're just painting, it's freedom for you, yes?
Yeah.
You don't.
It's also war.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's also like, what the fuck is about to happen?
Yeah.
But the more that I just... If I want to put a fucking yellow dot right there, I'm going to put a yellow dot right there. You know what I mean? If I want to sign my name, Ryan here and Rado down here with a fucking arrow, I'll do it. That's the freedom that you try to adapt to,
Yeah.
So this is the last painting I made. It looks like it that way. This is about 6 feet tall, but it's
beautiful.
Thanks. So
I love that.
Thanks.
Is that the yin and yang of your...
I don't know. It's just something that fucking knocked out. I was listening to Eric B. and Rakim, the
really
gold
pretty.
record. But there's also glitter tempera paint in there.
Nice.
Tempera
I love
paint.
me some glitter.
Hell yeah.
I really do. I'm a big fan.
So yeah. So
That's
it's
so
interesting.
cool.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm scouring my brain to see if there's anything else that I could ask that... I mean, it's such a fascinating topic, and I feel like that what's so lovely is you, first of all, that you were willing to come and talk to me, and not knowing me at all. Sure. But it's so important to me to get all these different voices out there, because without the knowledge, without looking at each other and being like, oh, you're my brother.
Yes.
So I appreciate that.
Well,
is there anywhere that people could go to maybe look stuff up? Is there like a Tourette's group or something like researchy thing?
I don't know. I know there's.
Are you part of any studies?
No.
Not
that I know of.
Are you
Truman Show.
Yeah. Are you on any kind of a, like, if you were to scale it, are you worse or better than the average bear? Or
I think I think I would be more on the having more tics than most people.
Yeah.
But I'm also okay with it. So I can, if I'm having tics, it's happening, and I roll with it. A lot of people will either remove themselves, or from what I've seen, and then I bring it into like, oh, what's up there? This tic's happening, and then it just becomes part of what's happening. So it's like, I may have more tics, but I also have more incorporation to normal goofiness, I guess, or whatever. But I've noticed that it is a skill to be able to incorporate it very calmly, and I do that too. But I think I would be more on the dude has tics. You know what I'm saying? He's got tics out there, But there's some people that are really subtle, and it's cool it's cool for me to see them.
You notice, I'm sure, more than anyone.
Yeah. I don't. There's been a couple times where I've mentioned it to people, but I'm being true about it. Like, I say, hey, I have Tourette syndrome, and I saw this guy at Starbucks, like, sticking his tongue out onto his coffee and, like, moving around. So I was like, fuck this. I just went up to him. I was on some caffeine, too. Let's do this,
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I was wondering, I have Tourette syndrome. Do you have Tourette syndrome? And the guy was like, no. He's like, I'm just really high anxiety. And I was like, got it. And I just went over and talked to my friend Dave, But
that's amazing.
So, yeah. If someone tells me they have Tourette syndrome, oh, my God. It's like the brightest shining star. And I see it happening. It's weird for me to see someone having Tourette syndrome. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I've not really met girls with it ever.
Really?
Yeah, it happens more in men than
Why do you think that
things.
is?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well,
pretty crazy.
Now I'm gonna have to go down that rabbit hole and research that.
Cool.
Yeah. Now I come to think of it, even in movies, I think the people with Tourette's in the movie, they're usually men. Mm-hmm. In the movies too. There
was a movie called Niagara. Robin Tooney, that was in The Craft, was in it. And that is a great movie. She did a fucking...
It's about Tourette's?
Yeah, she had this...
Wait, you were in a documentary or something, correct?
Yeah, my friend Ethan and I made a series of black and white videos about it all. I felt like I was a different person then, though.
How so? Just younger?
I was about to embark upon coming down the ladder and being face down on the ground, you know? So I was watching myself and...
Can people still find those and watch them?
Yeah. They're, you might look up Ryan Rado Tourette's documentary or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Or Ethan Luck Tourette's documentary, Luck.
Yeah. All right. I can put a link on the Facebook or Facebook on my Hey Human podcast thing.
That'd be cool.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this. You are awesome.
Likewise. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.